Philly? Why do you get up more for them, your rival?
No, I just like play games. That's all I like.
You got into that early foul trouble with a lot. Bounce back there. Had that big fourth quarter.
It was kind of frustrating, but I never give up. I never stopped playing. Wait for my chance, got a chance, and I kept playing.
Collectively, you guys seem to frustrate and beat all night. Does it feel that way?
We played pretty good defense. We played 5 guys defense. So one guy goes down, next one steps up, and we helped each other. We've been on the strings. We've been on the chain reaction. So that's great. That's what our identity should be.
Coach told us after the game that early in the fourth he just said that they were going to pound the ball to you because they like that matchup with you and Embiid. How did you feel when he said that in the huddle?
Felt good. Felt good. But, I'm just doing my job. If coach feels it like that, that's extra motivation for me.
You've probably seen Kawhi do things like that more than just about anybody. Has it gotten old, or have you gotten used to it yet?
No, I don't think it ever gets old, especially this early in the season now, and in a tight game where we're trying to win. But yeah, it never gets old when somebody can make the game easier for you.
Nick said at halftime that he talked to you guys about sort of testing the rim protection. It looked like Joel was making his presence felt. Just you knew he was there. When Kawhi has a dunk like that in the second quarter, how much does that encourage you guys to do more of that?
I think with him attacking the rim, Kalo, the way he does, and Pascal, it kind of makes him work a little more. It's something we wanted to do, put some pressure on the back, because obviously the last couple games we haven't been shooting well, so we have to find other ways to get it done. So, but I think we did a good job, and obviously his presence is always going to be felt because of how massive he is as a human being. You can't miss him. So, but either way, you can't not be scared to go in there and make him work and challenge him and try to get some easy buckets at the rim or floaters. Closer shots are usually higher percentage shots.
Kawhi had the 37 against Golden State, 36 tonight. Obviously, he's really good on most nights, but what is it that allows him to take his game to another level in these bigger games?
I think we do a pretty good job of getting him the ball, getting him open, and getting him in a rhythm early. Also, we were just swinging it tonight. I think he's the only one that was pretty much hitting shots for us behind the arc. So, and it was finding him, and it was finding him when he was open. So that was good. I think when he's hitting those shots, it kind of makes the game a lot easier for him because his game is more mid-range, pull up to the rim. But when he's hitting threes, it gives him another different dynamic, which is very hard to guard. Still hard to guard regardless, but when he's hitting those, it's gonna be a good night.
Nick was talking about Jonas before the game and how hard he is after games where he doesn't play up to his standards and how frustrated it can be for him. How nice was it to see him bounce back, have a big game, have a big quarter like he did?
Oh, it was great, especially because the fact that he had a tough whistle early on and had a couple quick fouls, and he had to come out of the game quick. He was in there for only a couple minutes and had 3 quick fouls. For him to come bounce back in that second half and play as well as he did was huge for him and for us. But I feel like a lot of guys don't usually or not happy with their individual performance at the end of the night. JV particularly said he gets frustrated himself and comes in next day to practice, and you could tell in his step or in his attitude that he wants to get back on the floor and try to make something happen for himself and for the team. So it was big for him, so mentally, emotionally, and for our team.
I hope you guys been able to shake off. I think it was 3 for 22 against Denver first half. What was it, 3 for 18 or some other crazy number first half tonight? Why isn't that kind of set you guys off?
Well, defensively, I think it's keeping us in the game. We'll play decent enough defense to keep teams under a certain amount of points. So if we don't, then we're probably going to get blown out. But I think we did a better job, or we're getting a better job of rebounding on the defense end of the floor, getting back on transition and finding guys. But we got to find a way to get our legs back and shoot better. It would make the game a lot easier. If we shoot like that against those other teams, it's going to be some really long nights.
You spend a lot of time in the Western Conference, and now you're back in the East. Do you notice any differences?
Just learning the personnel of guys a lot more, closely of guys that I didn't know as well as I did, being in the West. and knowing their strengths, knowing their weaknesses. But every team is so different now, different matchups. They were a whole different team than when we first saw them. So we had different matchups of who was going to guard who and how we're going to guard them. So outside of that, I guess it's not much of a difference. The pace now all around the league, everybody's getting up and down and getting a lot of shots up behind the perimeter. So, but it's been fun. I'm enjoying it and learning a lot about the East and the cold weather in the cities. So, from one cold city to the next, but enjoying it and learning the personnel of each team in the East.
What did you guys see in the fourth quarter that allowed you guys to crank it up and suddenly flip the game over?
Our bench did an unbelievable job, man. They've been kind of just trying to find their way, and tonight was one of those games where they kind of got it clicking, and JV played well, Freddie, DeLon, OG, CJ, they kind of got it going, and Greg even stepped up tonight. It was a good effort by the bench tonight. I think they really gave us that energy we needed, and the spark that we needed tonight.
When he gets rolling, how good can JV be?
I think JV is one of the best offensive bigs there is, and too bad the game. If it was a post-up game, then he'd be max player. But the league's changed a little bit. But when he gets going, he can make shots. He's big, he's strong, and I think the feel for I've seen him 7 years now. He's just continuously getting better. The feel that he has on the offensive end is amazing.
Nick said maybe at halftime he encouraged you guys to attack the rim and challenge the rim protection a bit more. It seemed like you guys were a bit hesitant in the first half. When Kawhi has that dunk that he had in the second quarter, does that sort of loosen things up from that perspective?
No, I think we just weren't aggressive enough. I think we were kind of passive. We didn't. I think we shot 40% tonight. And I think we were a little bit passive tonight, and we moved the ball a lot better, and we just weren't, attacking downhill as we could have. But we just got a good win. We figured it out later.
But do moments like that,
No, it doesn't matter. It's just a great moment for our team and a great moment for the energy level of our team.
What did you guys see defensively in that fourth quarter that allowed you to sort of flip the script on what was happening through the game?
Well, it was our second unit. They made stops, got rebounds, went on the offensive end and made shots, and they did a great job of doing that.
Jonas specifically, it seemed like he was real active offensively, and maybe even getting under the skin of Joel a little bit.
Yeah, he was very active defensively, and just contesting them. You know what I mean? Not really fouling Embiid at all. And on the other end, he got some foul calls on him and got Embiid a little bit frustrated. But he's doing a great job. He had energy coming off the bench.
Five of your you've had like 7 30-point games so far this year. 5 of them come against the Warriors. These guys are the Celtics, some of the elite teams in the league. Is there anything different about these matchups, kind of primetime TV against some of the best teams in the league that as you take your game to another level?
I don't look at it that way. I try to perform every night. I said this before, if you try to turn on versus the good teams, it's just very hard to do that. You got to do it on a nightly basis, whoever you're guarding, whoever you're playing. And, games like this, like you said, this could be a playoff team that we're going to be playing in the future. So, I don't really see it though. I just try to go out and play every night.
When you get in a zone like you did in the second half, that you're stealing passes that look like they're going right to guys and breaking out for dunks and kind of setting everything up. Does the game slow down at all, or change for you, or is it just the same as it is at any other point?
It's slowing down for me now since it's 26 games in. We're playing every other night, but. No, making shots or missing shots, try to stay pretty much even keeled throughout the game because you never know what's going to happen.
Is your consistency maybe what you pride yourself on the most, and do you feel like you're getting to that point you can deliver the kind of consistency you expect from yourself?
Just pride myself on going out there trying to win games and playing hard every night. That's the only thing I look at to be consistent at, and that's it, and just trying to be a leader for my teammates, set example.
What do you think it's going to be like when you say we're at the point with Kawhi where he feels comfortable?
Well, that's funny. He's getting there, right? I think he's seeing a little more spring in the legs as well. and the three ball, that those things are kind of related. Yeah, I don't know. I thought you were going to say, what are you going to feel like when you guys actually make some open shots, right? I think we're creating a zing, 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 and nobody near us, and one after another. But a lot of things to talk about, I think, tonight. I think the defensive effort was great from the second quarter on, and we got a really nice contribution from that second group. Right when they brought their guys back, and it was a tricky subbing night for me, right? The way they were coming in and out a little bit, and I was trying to keep the bigger bodies on the bigger bodies, and we kind of rolled the dice there for just a minute or so, and it rolled really quickly in our favor, which was great. Great credit to those guys. I thought they all contributed, from Greg to JV's huge night to CJ, you've played solidly. Fred and DeLon threw in some key buckets during that run too.
You know that JV takes a lot of stuff personally when he doesn't play well.
Yeah.
It's sort of important that he has every now and then a big night tonight, like against a great player like Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You know, JV, we talked about it before the game, how much it means to him all the time. He always wants to play more, and he always wants to be contributing more and stuff, and he works, right? He wants to know the answers when he's got questions. He wants to do the work in between days and things like that, and he gets rewarded, I think, for that, just his good-natured spirit and his good, he's in a good place as far as being a team guy.
Embiid defensively in the first sort of quarter and a half seemed to just be spooking everybody around the rim, and then Kawhi had that dunk that sort of seemed to change the energy in the building and your team. How much of a believer in those sort of moments are you that can sort of change it?
Well, I mean, just in reference to your question, I think I commented somewhere along the second quarter, maybe it was at halftime, that I said, let's make an effort now to put our head down and get to the rim, because it doesn't appear to me, it appeared to me that the rim protection wasn't quite, I think what you're saying, maybe what we were fearing wasn't maybe an actuality. So wanted to try to, I'm not sure we made that concentrated effort to get to the rim, but we did a little bit more.
What's it like watching Kawhi take over a game like that in the second half? I mean, he's stealing balls that look like they're going right to guys. He's making plays all over the place. Must be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a good place to watch it from, right there in front there. It's pretty good. But no, I mean, it's great. I think the big thing, another thing we got to do, which was he was doing tonight, was turn all these turnovers and steals into immediate offense. And I thought we were throwing it all over the place with break opportunities there. So it was nice to see someone. There's another thing we talked about at halftime. I said, hey, we get out on the break in the open floor. Let's attack the rim instead of trying to throw it to somebody running 100 miles an hour. In a little window there and scoop it up off the ground, and it's good, man. Sometimes when you go to the rim, the seas part, and they did for him a couple times, and it's good to see him. Boom.
The 37 points against Golden State, the 36 tonight. Obviously, he's a really good player most nights, but what is it that allows him to take his game to the next level in these big games?
Well, I think it's for him, it's interest level, right? I think he like all of us, there's bigger games than others, and he's an immense talent. He really is an immense talent. And when the stakes go up a little bit, he's gonna play his hand a little harder. And I don't know. I think the juice gets flowing, and it gets him a little bouncier with his three ball and a little quicker with the ball in transition and all that kind of stuff.
Beyond just JV, was it nice to see that bench heavy unit at the start of the fourth hold their own against their big three?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even hold their own. They took it. They almost pulled that, separated that thing, and that was huge, because it was tricky. As I said, Brett wasn't quite doing it like run the guys, take them out, run them. They were in, they were out, they were in, and I knew he was trying to get them back to start the quarter probably, because he took some of them out so early. And we were at the point where Kawhi played the whole third, so he had to come out. So I came out with OG and Pascal, because I was like, who's going to, just in case they came back with, Butler and Simmons, we needed two big bodies out there. And then I think he quickly took one of them out, which enabled me to put CJ back in. And even the one possession, a couple possessions there, I put CJ on Butler. And again, it was a big roll of the dice, but I thought that team had a chance to get a little momentum going. And again, that worked out this time, right? It worked out. It doesn't always work out, but it worked out tonight, which was great.
You mentioned pregame how mixing and matching, like who sees Simmons and Butler, but it looked like Kawhi was mostly on Simmons. Like, what was the reason behind that?
Yeah, I mean, we did start with Kawhi on Simmons, and again, it probably leans to our first matchup. You know, we thought Kawhi bothered him a lot, and I think he did again tonight. Obviously, Butler got going. There was a few stretches in the game. A couple times we got a little foul trouble there at that position, so we got the foul. Pascal was in foul trouble, so we got him off, and all they did was run a screen and roll with the two guys. Ended up switching them back, but so it's a moving pieces thing that we were trying to do a little bit.
You already spoke about JB's attitude throughout the game, but he had a very strong fourth quarter. What did you see from him in that quarter specifically?
Well, the big thing is thought he had a good feel for the game, and we went at him with some deep post ups against Embiid. Right, it was like I wanted to get him the ball, and I knew Embiid was out there, and kind of said, we all kind of said, JV, we're going to you, and we believe that you can score on this dude, and he did, and he drew a couple fouls, and may not seem like the best matchup in the world throwing it into JV against Embiid, but again, JV had it going, and he did a good job. So he was playing that well that we were pumping it in there to him in the fourth quarter.
Three-pointers weren't falling for anybody other than Kawhi, really. Do you just keep saying to your guys, look, we're happy with these shots?
They were really good, most of them. I haven't watched the tape, but it felt like Danny and Kyle had some. Those two guys, we want them taken every time they're open, and I think they were 1 for 11 at the half from three, and I would have taken probably all 11 of those over again for those two guys. A couple of the other ones maybe here and there, we maybe rushed them. I'm trying to think who else was taking some. Fred, maybe OG, I don't know. But for the most part, that's the way we're going to play, right? We're gonna touch it and move it and try to find the most open guy. And if there's a three available, most of our guys are supposed to load it up. It was a little. I was hoping I was recruiting at halftime to see if I could find somebody who could make a three, but I couldn't find anybody.